Good morning, Kev at leadsharmonica.uk here. I've got a really interesting, well I think it's interesting, little workshop style video to make here. I was inspired to do this when a chap that I'm helping to learn to play harmonica, hi Matt, said to me, wow, there's just so many different ways of playing notes on the harmonica. And I thought, well, yeah, there is. It's really one of the strengths of the instrument. There's lots and lots of different ways that you can present a note. You know, there's lots of different ways of presenting it, lots of different ways of playing it, lots of different ways of embellishing it. And when Matt said that to me, I sat down for 5 minutes and then just came up with a really long list of different ways that you can do this. And it's not exhaustive by any means, but I'm just going to fly through it and demonstrate all of these ways that you can present a note on the harmonica, because there's a lot more than you might think. And really, it's skilled harmonica players that can use all these different techniques and ideas to generate a lot of substance and interest in their playing. You know, it keeps the listener interested because they're constantly hearing new things, and the more of these you learn, the better your familiarity with the instrument, right? So anyway, this is really cool stuff. Here we go. Okay, I've got my trusty A harmonica here. I'm going to start on draw 4. And the first item on the list is obviously that we can play notes very quietly and we can play them very loud. 4 draw very quiet. 4 draw very loud. And obviously you've got everything in between. So right there. Massive variation in sound right off the bat. Okay, the next one is articulations. So if we've got that 4 draw again. If you just breathe in, the note has a very sort of soft entry, but we can punch it up a bit by applying what we call articulations, by making a bouncing the tongue off the top of your mouth. So if you're going ta-ta or tu-tu or ti-ti, or you can also do it with K sounds, or more of a cough sound. All different ways you can articulate it, so let me just run through those. Sound very similar, but all a few different ways of getting a bit of punch at the start of that note. Articulations. Next is the dip, sometimes called a slur or a scoop. Start the note bend and release to the natural note. That's 4 draw again. Beautiful sound. Very often on the 3 draw in blues, you get that little scoop in there. It sounds wonderful. Okay, next we've got the double stop. That's 4 and 5 at the same time. Really dirty sound, that one. You can also do 3 and 4. And if you put a little dip before your double stop as well, that's 3 and 4. With a dip you get that train sound, but you can do it on 5, 4, 5 as well, or even 5, 6. Dip into a double stop. There you go. Oh, the other thing you can do, especially with a 4-5 double stop, is just let a tiny little bit of that 5 sneak into that 4 hole. So instead of going, you get that really dirty sound. Just let a little bit of that 5 hole in, you get a really sweet sound. It's not really sweet, it's quite aggressive, but it's good and bluesy. So there you go, double stops, different ways to play them. Dip into the double stop with just a little bit of dirt on the side. Good stuff. Classic blues maneuver. Shake. Brilliant. all over blues, and if you dip into that shake, if you start I'm doing a 4/5 shake there. If you start the 4 draw, dip into that and then start your shake, even better. Shakes. Okay, the next example is the glissando, or the slide. You know, if you're going to go up to a note, you play a bunch of other notes first. Going up to 6 below there. You could do it from the other way as well. In fact, you get it right. Less common. But you can gliss into and out of a note, so like that. So went up at the start, played it a few times, then back down, and gliss back down. Just remember that in addition to that gliss, you can add a rrr, like a Spanish rolling R sound. Big Walter Horton used to do this a lot. So going up to the 6, that's a crazy noise. You have got your tremolo, of course, back to 4 draw. Fast or slow, extreme or small. And that's just little coughs. Get a very vocal-like sound out of it, very sweet. Great on country stuff and long-held notes. Tremolo. Okay, the next thing is a cut. Start the note natural, bend it down quickly and stop. Let me put that in a lick. See at the end there? Very cool. And actually, if you cut and gliss down from it, you get an even better note, or better, a more complex sound. Okay, moving on to some tongue blocking stuff now. First of all, the technique that I use absolutely all the time, it's my default way of playing a note. The slap. That's where, so I'm on the 4 draw there, my mouth's covering holes 1, 2, 3 and 4, and just before I want that note to ring out, I'm dropping my tongue down on the harmonica to cover holes 1, 2 and 3, leaving hole 4 for the air to go through. So you get that little bounce of a chord just before the note. And you can do great big ones, or small ones that you can hardly hear, but they do, however you do them, they add a lot of texture to the sound. If you're trying to play Chicago blues and you're not doing that, I don't know what you're doing. Okay, next up is octaves. Really brash, powerful sound. We're playing a low note and its next high octave at the same time by putting our mouth over 4 holes, blocking the middle 2 out with the tongue, leaving the air to go either side. So that second one there is the same technique, but when you play it on the 2 and the 5, you don't actually get an octave, you get this other interval which sounds really dirty and bluesy. Cool stuff. Of course, you can embellish the octaves as well. You can put a shake. Don't hear that very often, but it's a very cool sound. So I'm shaking there between the 2/5 split and the 4/3/6 octave. Okay, shake the octave, why not? Big powerful blues sound now, the flutter. So I'm playing the 4 draw out of the right hand side of my mouth, and my tongue is rapidly going on and off the comb of the harmonica to stop and start the airflow over holes 1, 2 and 3, leaving that 4 hole to sound all the time. Very cool sound. Flutter. Just realised you can also flutter a double stop. Why not 4 and 5 at the same time, fluttering 1, 2 and 3. You can do it with 5 and 6. That's bluesy. Oh, that's a dig. Okay, good. Next we've got the lift. If you're playing tongue block to 4 draw, you can just lift your tongue off to sound the chord. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Even cooler than the lift though is the pull. Which is a much more percussive version of the lift, lots of attack. And the way we achieve that is by, as we're tongue blocking, the 4 draw in this case, while you're inhaling, you move your tongue out so that it covers all the holes, so that no air can escape through, no air's coming in through the harmonica at all. And then you quickly pluck your tongue off, and that sounds out the chord. You can do them loud or quiet. Very, very cool. Very good rhythmic device, that one. That's when you combine the slap with the pull, right? Slapping into the note, pulling out. Very cool. And I just realised I haven't even gone into hand movements yet, so nice and open. All closed up. Somewhere in between. Hand tremolo. Loads of different ways of doing that. You can go or for a different sound. If you really want to close up, you can wrap your hand around. I used to see Sonny Terry going like this. And that does put a bit of vibrato in the sound, but I think he did that more so it looked like he was trying hard. But it does change the sound. So your hand techniques are also really important. I've got absolutely no idea how many of these I've gone through at this point, but that is enough to get going, right? I could keep, if I started digging into this, I'd find more and more. And ways of combining two of the ones I've talked about to make more new sounds. But I think that'll serve as just a little demonstration of the wide variety of options you have getting sound out of one of these mad little instruments. So I hope that was useful or helpful or entertaining or whatever. More harmonica nerdery always at leedsharmonica.uk, and I'll see you soon.